The biggest mistake that I believe the bulk of the world has is the 99% is constantly reacting on what the world throws at them. No matter where you're from or what level you started at, it's never going to be fair. We don't actually accept the game for what it is. Each new level that you reach, there's another mountain that's even bigger than the one that you already climbed before. What's so cool, especially here in the United States, is I'm sure you can find somebody that has some type of similarity to you. Okay, if they did it, I can also do these things. And if we would just accept it and go, okay, this is how this game is played. How do I play the game to the best of my ability? It's a way to just ultimately change your life very quickly. Hey guys, welcome back to the Grant Mitt Podcast, episode number 99. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to control your energy and why it's so important and what you need to do to elevate and get to the next level. No matter how far you go in life, I've found that each new level that you reach, there's another glass ceiling to break, or there's another mountain that's even bigger than the one that you already climbed before. So the reason why implementing this process is not only going to help you achieve the thing that you've been thinking about most this week, or the target that you have for the rest of this year, but it's going to be able to apply to basically every single situation that you're in, no matter if it's in your business, dealing with clients, dealing with crisis, dealing with your family and your friends and relationship. You can apply it to nearly anything. And it's a surefire or a sure, way to just ultimately change your life very quickly. All right. So let's talk about this. All right. The biggest mistake that I believe the bulk of the world has, and the reason why there's such a massive separation between the people who really change the world, make the biggest impacts, do the best in their finances, do the things that they ultimately want versus the people that don't, is the 99% is constantly reacting on what the world throws at them, the way that people treat them. Maybe they were brought up in a rough situation, or they go to a school and it doesn't work out like it does. They go get a job at a specific company. It's not what they expected. No matter where you're from or what level you started at or you're currently at now, it's never going to be fair. And if it's tied to people, it's typically going to be corrupt. But the thing is we stress more in wishing things were different, and we don't actually accept the game for what it is. And if we would just accept it and go, okay, this is how this game is played. This is how this company is ran that I work at. This is what it's like in this specific culture, this part of the world. How do I play the game to the best of my ability? And what's so cool, especially here in the United States, but I know we have people listening all over the world, is I'm sure you can find somebody that has some type of similarity to you, whether it's where you're from, whether it's a skill set you have, whether it's a city you grew up in, that you can use almost as a template. So it's okay, if they did it, I can also do these things. But what happens is when you decide to change and you go after something in life, you get what's first called uninformed optimism, meaning you hear about this new industry. And of course, the only thing you hear about early that makes you want to get into it are the good things. You don't know about the downsides and the problems. Because when you talk, it's just like an Instagram, right? No one posts the bad things that are happening in their life on Instagram. They only post the highlight reels. So it creates a false identity that people are living better lives and they're happier than they actually are. Life is very similar in that matter. And so it's important that you are dictating how you want to live your life, and you're protecting and controlling your energy to produce the results that you want to do. Now, to do this in a streamlined way and something that you can apply in every area, you have to have clear intention about who you are and who you're creating yourself to become, so you can produce the results that you want to produce. One of my first sales jobs I ever had, the person that was the CEO of that company, now he's actually really well known and he's super successful. I learned so much from him. And the one thing he always said that stuck with me, that I've applied to every area of my life, and also I've told other people as well, is become the person you want to be now. So he's like, Grant, if you want to become a business owner, you need to talk, walk, dress, do every single thing like a business owner today. He's like, most people wait till they get the opportunity to start doing the things. He's like, do them now. When you do more than what you're paid for, you'll eventually be paid more for what you do. And I took that to heart. And so I went out and got, with all the money I had, got nice jackets, nicer shoes, dressed better. And I would spend good portions of my day studying and developing myself on the skill sets that business owners had. So what happens is when you do this, the world starts reacting to you because you have clear intention about what you're creating and, as in yourself, who you are creating as a person to be able to achieve the things that you want. And I always thought this, maybe not directly, but indirectly, that, whether it was sports or whether it was business, that I would be discovered someday, that someone would come find me and be like, there's something different about you. Come work with me, or I'm going to shadow you. I'm going to mentor you. And I just found it doesn't work that way. You get opportunities because you're the person that deserves them. Literally, it's that simple. And putting yourself out there, being excellent and winning creates that brand that you want to create, which attracts the right people, the opportunities, and circumstances. And there's no shortage of opportunities for people who are successful, people who are unbelievable at what they do. And I thought that there was a shortcut. I thought that there was a hidden secret. And the secret is that you just have to be that good. And to become that good, you have to put in the necessary work. So I want to talk about 3 specific things that you can do to protect and shape and control your energy consistently. Because if you're a person that is bold, that goes after, big goals and goes after things that maybe no one in their families had or succeeded at before, like I have, you're going to have to be conscious about this, and you're going to have to protect your energy and shape it and mold it so you can bend reality and get what you want. So number 1 is, if you just work really hard and you're a good person, you'll likely be pretty successful. But the problem is you're going to end up thinking like the bulk of the rest of the world. You'll be shaped heavily by your environment, and you'll be, groomed to think and perceive life based off of the content, information, and most importantly, the people that you have been around. Now, if you grew up in the perfect family, which I don't think really anybody did, you're going to have an advantage. But if you didn't come from a billionaire family, which there's studies that say that actually doesn't help someone become successful on their own, but that's a whole nother conversation, then you're at the mercy of the world. So let's control it and let's change it. And what's great is now all of us has access to more information than anybody in the world through the internet. So now we can be conscious about this, right? So number 1, and this is stuff that has really, really impacted me, that's helped me so much as well, and you can implement quickly. So number 1 is meditation, visualization, and affirmations teaches your brain how to think, how to perceive the world, and ultimately what are your natural core beliefs that are deep in your subconscious. And what I've found is that when I'm proactive of shaping my mind to believe what I want it to believe, it adjusts my energy and my frequency. And if you want to kind of understand energy more, it's almost like a feeling. And an easy, surefire way to know, how powerful it is. Have you ever been on the freeway or a road and you're sitting in your car and it's just you, and you turn and you look at the car next to you? Do you notice they always look right back? They can't even see you. You could even have tinted windows and they'll turn and look at you. People can feel your energy. Have you ever walked into a funeral or a hospital, ICU, and it's really quiet and cold? It's not awkward, it's not the right word, but it just feels serious. It doesn't feel great. At the same time, have you ever walked into maybe church, a service at church, or a team meeting with all of these really, really successful people, or a conference, and you're in maybe a really good section, like a VIP section, or let's say you fly first class for the first time, or you go to the nicest hotel. That all is a different frequency. It feels different. And likely what you found is the next couple hours, week, or even month after those types of experiences, you notice that different people are attracted. Sales calls become easier or harder. Success becomes easier and more natural, and sometimes it becomes harder because that energy slowly shaped who you were. There's been multiple times, especially since I've on my journey of trying to be successful and becoming an entrepreneur, is I'll hang out with friends maybe I hadn't seen in a while, and they'll start asking me questions, and eventually we've hanged out long enough, we've known each other forever, I'll just start talking about work, especially if I trust them and I'm comfortable with them. And I notice the next couple of weeks and months, they start thinking differently. They start becoming more successful. And it's because that energy is contagious. So a simple way I'm going to break this down tactically is visualization is important because it's teaching your brain who you are going to become. And the brain doesn't know the difference between a thought and reality. So you're shaping and creating the story before it happens. Before I started my first successful business, and even to this day now, I would tell people in my family and really, really close confidants and friends. That's why I'm very careful who I tell my goals to, almost nobody. But I'll say things like, yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to build this and I'm going to do this and we're going to do this much in sales. I'm going to be at this and it's going to completely change our lives. I can feel it. It's coming. I'm about to do this. This is about to happen. When this happens, we're going to do this. And I say this over and over again because I want to make sure my brain, my subconscious, I want to make sure I believe it. Because when you believe those things, that next meeting, that next conversation, when you walk in the restaurant, the conference, when you're meeting someone for the first time, the way that you present yourself is going to be completely different because you have those core beliefs. And I love this saying, I hope I get it right. It's you hang out with someone super successful that believes in themselves long enough, they'll brainwash you into believing in yourself and going after really successful, audacious, big goals. And sometimes that's all it takes. But my thing is like control the narrative in your life. The media, social media, everything is so driven by controversy and this problem and that problem, but we're walking around abundance every single day. There's breakthroughs in the medical field, in business, with technology, all over the world. Unbelievable things are happening. Don't be so focused on the negative that you miss out on really taking advantage of all these incredible opportunities. All right. So number 2, simple, is cultivate the right environment. You go, well, Grant, like I'm not in the right environment yet. I'm just starting out. And I feel you because I was in that exact same situation. My thing is go seek it. You know, even if you got to get on a bus, take an Uber, ride with a friend. I was living in Lakewood, Long Beach, California. I was playing junior college football. And I'm not going to retell that story because it's been in my podcast. You'll find it somewhere if you haven't heard it. But me and my friends, I didn't even know Los Angeles had a metro. But we drive, I think it was like 10 minutes away, and we'd get on the metro, and we'd ride all the way to downtown LA, or we'd get on a bus. We'd somehow end up in the Beverly Hills area, or we'd hitch a ride with a friend, whatever it took to go to the nicest parts. Well, it's going to a nice beach, going to a nice area, and we would just hang out there. We just acted like we'd all put on our best fits, and we just kind of acted like we were rich, and we weren't. But we just kind of wanted to feel what it was like. We all were from different parts of the country, and we all had different upbringings, but we all wanted to be successful. And we were just slowly training ourselves to think that certain type of way. And I could tell you, it was like those early experiences that helped me think different, that helped me find the right resources and people that I needed to learn from and network with, that shaped who I became to achieve a lot really early in life. And while those times were super difficult, I was pulling, and some of my roommates and other friends that were out there, we were pulling ourselves out of a difficult environment and feeling what it felt like. And we were almost projecting ourselves to the future of what we were going to become. So you can always find a way to do this. The third is create non-negotiables. I was just having this conversation with someone recently. I go, I just don't have stress in my life in regards to people. I know so many people that every time I catch up with them, I haven't talked to them, the only thing they want to talk about is problems they're having with this girl and this guy and this relationship and this ex and that, somebody at work. That's like all they're talking about. And it's nothing wrong with them, but it's like, I don't have that. I used to, but it's like, I just don't allow those people in my life. I don't allow it. I'm too happy. And I have too much things to focus on and too much people I'm responsible for to spend my time worrying about other people, whether it's talking bad about them. And maybe they are bad, right? But just spending time with negative people that hurt who you are as a person and the potential that you have. And so it's just super important. It's like, be around people that inspire you. This sounds so simple because we all hear this, but guys, it changes your life. And if you can't find those people, And, because those people want to hang out with the similar types of people and you're in a building stage, spend time alone, even if it's 6 months. I pulled away from the world for a year and a half, 2 years when I was building. And I'm not telling people that that's what they should necessarily do, but it's better to be alone than to be with the wrong crowd, because you cannot track the right crowd if you're the wrong person and you're around the wrong people. And have your non-negotiables. I protect my mind. I don't allow myself to listen to negative things, negative people, trash content and information and people who are negative, because it poisons my mind. It's just the reason why, and I don't know if this is the right thing, but I just don't tell my goals to anybody, even people that support me. If I don't know them personally, truly know them, why would I tell them my goals? If they don't believe in me as much or more than I believe in myself, then they probably shouldn't know those things. That's more private, because I want to protect that, because I want to keep my self-esteem and confidence so high that nothing gets in my head that I can't achieve it. And I like to tell you guys, I'm just so tough and this, that, and the other. But if I go talk to 5 people and they all tell me I'm crazy and I need to think smaller and I need to be realistic, like, I'll persist past it eventually. But I'm telling you right now, I'll feel it. And so will you. So protect your mind, protect your mindset, because that's what you need to truly achieve and go after these massive things. It's been so cool, just networking and meeting so many people all over the world. And this happened just organically. And I'm seeing people who are of all different ages just doing unbelievable things that make me go, what the hell am I doing? I need to step it up. And like, those are the people that you need to be around, because it stretches your consciousness. And I want to kind of jump into a couple little things that I do. And I do this forever. Like, I'm going to do this till, as long as I live, is when I'm trying to reach a new level, the first thing that I do is I try to expand my consciousness, expand my thinking. We all, no matter our intelligence, capabilities, or resources, make decisions and build things and take actionable steps off of the information that our brain currently has. And so, especially if you're doing something maybe your family hasn't done before, it's important to go see and experience things you never experienced before. When I was in Dubai, I ended up meeting this guy who is building one of the biggest development companies in the Middle East. He's in partnerships with Mercedes, Bugatti, and all these massive brands, beautiful, massive multi-billion-dollar buildings. And when I was out there, he actually invited me to the unveiling, and they delivered stuff VIP, and I'm sitting there next to all these multi-millionaires and billionaires. And just the show and the presentation, I mean, they had drones flying, they had this unbelievable car, they had the CEO of Mercedes. It was just next level. It was one of those wake-up call moments. You were like, wow, I thought I was doing good, and there's a whole nother level I didn't even know. And being around that just expanded my mind so much. It motivated me so much that when I came back, I was like, man, I got to just go even harder. I have to meet even more people. I have to take even bigger action. I have to get, I just had to expand what I was doing and what I was thinking. Another thing that's just quite simple is study. And like, for example, let's say you want to one day get a private jet. Get a magazine every month and look at it like you're buying it. Or if you have dream cars, go routinely, like once a quarter or once a month. Just go look at cars and build a relationship. Call the dealership. Don't waste their time, obviously, but go look at it. Act like you're buying it. And I'm not telling you guys this to be delusional, but it's like, if you can't feel it, touch it, and experience it, you don't know that it's real. And just your brain knowing that it's legit and that you can achieve it, or meeting people that look like you and are no smarter, maybe less smarter many times than you, but they're doing these unbelievable things. These are the people that when you see that and you experience that, you're like, whoa, this is possible. And that's what's so key, is stretch your mind. Stretch your mind. And another thing too that's real simple is like, go to nature. Whether it's a beach, whether it's a mountain, whether it's a forest, be around nature, because it cleanses your energy. It's just such a good vibe, but it protects you and kind of recenters you as a person. So my key word that I want you guys to think of is stretch. Stretch yourself. All the time when I work with entrepreneurs, I work with, and I do consulting now as well as running my own businesses, is I help other companies and CEOs scale. And I've been working with all these different CEOs and growing and scaling your business. We've had entrepreneurs that go from scratch to $10,000, $20,000 a month. I've had people that double and triple their monthly reoccurring revenue in like 40 to 60 days, just crazy stuff. And they'll talk to me, like say 2 to 4 weeks in, and they're like, man, Grant, I just feel flustered. I feel stressed. Like, what do you think that is? And what I tell them is, that's what this is supposed to feel like. And they look at me and they're like, what? And I'm like, you're doing something you've never done before. It's supposed to feel scary. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. You're stretching yourself and you're becoming the best version of yourself, and you're pulling out, talents and abilities that maybe you didn't even realize you had. And that's supposed to feel like this. And so whatever you guys are going through, if you feel uncomfortable, that's a sign that you're heading in the right direction, because that means you're becoming someone and stretching yourself to do things that you've never, ever done before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Look forward to seeing you guys for episode 99. Like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, hit the link in my bio if you guys want to scale your business. As always, you guys can find me on all my social media channels at Grant Mitt. Other than that, look forward to see you guys soon for episode 100. Thank you guys.